So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the Met Police taking an ex-officer who made claims of sexism and racism to court. And effectively, this is about her allegedly breaching a non-disclosure agreement, which is kind of crazy that the Met police force is paying people off and getting them to sign NDAs. Absolutely wild. This stuff should be made illegal, honestly. The Met Police is taking a former senior court officer to court, claiming her allegations of racism and sexism broke an agreement meant to gag her from speaking out, The Guardian has learned. So, it's not because she's apparently claiming anything, that she's making up lies about the Met Police. It's the fact that she's spoken out about it, despite signing a gagging order. The Met Police former Chief Superintendent Parm Sandhu must pay £60,000 plus interest after breaking a confidentiality agreement known as a non-disclosure agreement. And so, effectively, the Met Police paid her around £60,000 of taxpayers' money to keep her mouth shut. The legal action by Britain's biggest police force has led to claims from one former Met chief that it's abusing taxpayers' money and its power to bury uncomfortable allegations of discrimination. Surely, if you're the Met Police, right, and someone's made allegations, rather than making them sign gagging orders, you speak to them and say, look, what happened, which people were involved in it, and you actually look at these moments to reform the police service, rather than making people sign NDAs and doing nothing about it and wasting, potentially hundreds of thousands of pounds of taxpayer money. A Met solicitor has revealed the use of gagging or non-disclosure agreements in a sworn statement to the court seen by The Guardian. The legal document is a particulars of claim issued on behalf of the Commissioner of the Met, Sir Stephen House. He took temporary charge after Cressida Dick resigned in February amid scandals about her alleged failure to tackle misogyny and racism. So here you have someone who said openly that the Met Police has a lot of problems with misogyny and racism, and you've got the police force just putting gagging orders on these people. Sandhu left the Met Police after 30 years, so a long time, alleging discrimination. The force settled her employment tribunal in 2020 and paid out £120,000. That's a lot of money. Sandhu wrote a book about her experience in the police and spoke out in the media interviews after the murder of Sarah Everard by serving Met Police officer in March 2021. Surprised she didn't use like an alias or something like that. The Met Police in the documents lodged with the Central London County Court alleges that the book breaches the agreement. And I don't know if these court documents will be made more public so we can find out what exactly her allegations were and what specifically the Met Police wanted to shut down. The gagging clause forbade Sandhu from making disparaging or derogatory comments about the Met Commissioner or about the force itself. It also forbade Sandhu from discussing the discrimination she allegedly suffered during her time in the Met Police. Then, when she was writing the book, she agreed to pay £60,000 of the total settlement to avoid the Met seeking to injunct publication with a court order. So apparently she paid the money back, but the Met are arguing she hasn't actually done that. The Met goes on to say that because the money has not been repaid, Britain's biggest force will sue. It says Sandhu's book reveals incidents of racial and gender discrimination and describes how she took a stand when she was falsely accused of wrongdoing. At least that's what Sandhu's book claims. And the thing that the Met Police... I'll talk about the thing the Met Police failed to understand at the end of this. The Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime is seeking information from the Met Police regarding their future use of settlement agreements, confidentiality clauses to ensure that officers are not unfairly silenced. And I think that's a good point for Sadiq Khan's office to do, is look at the actual use of NDAs and go through kind of each one and look at why were these issued in the first place. Because obviously the Met are trying to cover stuff up here. Otherwise, why else would you get people to sign NDAs and pay them off? Significant amounts of money here, 60 Gs. It's ridiculous. Employment lawyer Makbul Javed said a confidentiality clause is an NDA. The purpose is that you are bound by whatever is stated in the agreement not to disclose certain things. Former Met Chief Brian Paddock, who now sits in the House of Lords for the Liberal Democrats, said it is clearly in the public interest and in the interest of the Met that evidence of racism and sexism is put into the public domain so that lessons can be learnt. And I agree with him here. The last thing the Met should be doing is trying to gag whistleblowers. And I wonder if a judge would rule that it's in the public's interest to know about these allegations. But the thing the Met Police did is very stupid, because I don't know how many people would actually read this book, right? Probably not that many. Okay. And what they've done is they've furthered these allegations into kind of the public eye, because I wouldn't have known about this article, I wouldn't have seen it, about this whole thing, unless the Met sued this person, Sandhu here. I would not have known about this story. I would not have known about the Met using NDAs, for example, if it wasn't for Sandhu. I might have suspected it, but I never bothered to really look into it. I didn't see the point. But what the Met Police have done is fallen victim of the Streisand effect. So what is the Streisand effect? The Streisand effect is the name of a phenomenon in which someone attempts to hide, censor, or prevent access to something and have the opposite result. The unintended consequence of drawing far more attention to that thing. I think it's named after Barbara Streisand, because she wanted to hide something from the media, and then it just made it worse. It's like when certain footballers take out super injunctions, and then the press run with, oh, so and so takes out a super injunction. You're like, oh, what's happened here? You can make the whole situation worse. And I think in this case, the Met Police have made the whole situation worse. I don't know how many people have actually read this book, but now it's just made it more into the public eye, because now I actually kind of want to know what her allegations are against the Met Police. I'm not going to buy the book, obviously, because I'm not a nerd. But the Met Police, whoever thought this was a good idea, is just really stupid. I think they could have probably dealt with it behind closed doors a lot better. But for them to openly sue someone over a breach of an NDA and not repaying some money, taxpayers' money, I think it's very stupid from the Met Police. I think they could have dealt with this more privately, but they essentially failed to do so. And now this kind of information is made more public about an officer who served in the Met Police for 30 years being a victim of racism and alleged racism and misogyny. Doesn't really, coat their police force in a good light, especially when a lot of people have a lot of issues with the Met Police. A lot of issues, and this is just going to further add to it. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.